All right, so welcome back to the channel. If you are indeed coming back, if this is your first time seeing my content, welcome. And I hope that this video serves you of some use in your trading journey. I managed to build a trading journal using Unusual Whales, Google Sheets, and Google Gemini with Discord. And I thought it was pretty cool, so I thought I'd share it. I don't have any trading, or I don't have any scripting knowledge, any programming knowledge. I'm mostly a hardware guy when it comes to IT stuff. And I never put much effort into learning the programming side because it never really interested me. But when Unusual Whales came out with this API, I had questions. And for those who don't know, looking at my screen here, you can see this bottom corner right here. This is my low IV filter, and I've been singing the praise of low IV for a long time. And what I like to do is track these low IV contracts. These are contracts with a low IV below 26%, and they're opening, so the size is over the volume is over the open interest, and we're looking at $50,000 or more when it comes to that. As well as a few other things. And I've been tracking them for a while to see if I could compile some sort of trade plan around them, and tracking their high and their low prices, and seeing what, if anything, I can come up with. But when I put in what can I do with an Unusual Whales API key, it came up with some interesting ideas. And one of the things that I was figuring out is that I could pull contracts right from the tape. And you're gonna see in this video that the contracts here in the low IV filter that are here on the site are not the contracts that are being pulled by the API. And the best reasoning I could find for that is that when you're looking at the site here, right? When you're looking at the site, it's polished, right? It's formatted. It looks nice. There's colors. You have tables, everything else, but it takes time to get the data from the tape when the transaction happens to the website. And during that time, the filter requirements, the contracts maybe go outside those filter requirements. So you don't get everything, because by the time it gets to the website, it no longer meets that criteria and therefore doesn't show. It also works the other way around, where there's enough lag where by the time it hits the website, it's no longer, it hits the website because it meets the criteria, but like once it's there, it no longer meets the criteria. And this is something that I've seen. It doesn't happen, like, it's not like egregious or anything like that, but I think it's just a different way of grabbing the information off the tape, and the processing time to get it through the website into the UI to look pretty nice and pretty like this, versus just here's a wall of text coming from the tape. If you've ever looked at time and sales on a stock or something like SPY, that's the information that's pulling in, as far as I understand. So I started thinking, like, what can I do with this? And since I was already grabbing all this information already and putting it into a spreadsheet manually, I wondered if I could use the API to make that not so like I have to do it, right? To automate the whole process. And of course, Gemini was like, yeah, we can do that. Let's do it. So I flipped it into pro mode and asked it to script me some things. So Google Sheets has Google Sheets, right? It's a spreadsheet. But what a lot of people don't know is if you go up to extensions and you go to apps script, you can actually put in command to build your spreadsheet. And this is where the connection between the the Unusual Whales API and the Google spreadsheet happens. So this code, and I'm not going to scroll up because it does require an API key, but this code connects to the Unusual Whales API, grabs the information based on the low IV filter set that I set in there, and then outputs anything that matches those filters to the spreadsheet. There was a lot of trial and error. It was at one point, so in order to do that, it doesn't do it just automatically. I have to set a timer right up here. You can go to triggers, and I have to set a trigger to ping the API and pull this information. And I since there's not a lot of contracts that come through, I just set an hour. And I know there's limits. There's so many things I can request in the time period. I don't know exactly what they are. I'm sure they're on the Unusual Whales website. But I'm limited in that, and I didn't want to, just ping the holy crap out of their website, even if I can go much higher than 1 an hour. I don't really need to for this purpose. So it checks every hour, and if there isn't anything new, it forgets it, right? It doesn't bring it in, and that took some time to get it going. But right now, every hour it pings for those filters and then puts a new line into the spreadsheet for me. At some point, maybe I will try to automate the high and the low price and all this information on the right. But for right now, I'm not really looking to do that. So after I got this running up, I was like, what can I do with this, right? There's got to be something I can do with this. So I popped in there again into Gemini and I said, is there a way that I can send this information to Discord? And it said, absolutely, I can build a script to do that too. So I built the script to do that, or Gemini built the script and then I used it. But it then connects to a webhook that you set up in your own Discord server, right? And then it outputs the information there. Now, this is just a private server. It's just me. I'm the only person that has access to this place, this information here. There's 2 other people in this Discord, and they haven't spoken. Like, we haven't said anything for 2 years because we're members on some other Discords. But it just puts them out to here. Now, you can make it, like, the default is to just put it toward a Discord channel. It's just a wall of text, right? And I've seen Discord servers like that where they have unusual options, alerts, or whatever. And it's just text, right? There's no follow-up. There's no anything. If there are any notes about the contract, it just gets buried as more contracts come in. And it's really hard to like, I don't know, search any information or come up with anything unless you're sitting there looking at it when the time comes through. So I wondered if I could do it with threads, the Google or the Discord forum, and create a thread with it. And of course I can, because obviously you're looking at it. So now every time a contract comes through that matches my low IV filter set, it gets added to this spreadsheet for me to track, which I do like to do, because then I can track the price and build models around how the low IV contracts perform. And then it flips it out to Discord in a nice little threaded forum. And this is nice because it looks nice here. Every contract has its own post. And then here would be the wall of text that you would see, right, in most servers. But I can sit here and put notes. So, like, say this one comes through and this is one that I want to take, right? So I buy, say I buy 10 contracts at, I maybe didn't come through at the right time. So maybe I got them for a little bit more expensive. We'll say 0.26, right? So I bought 10 contracts at 0.26, and I can put that in. And now that has the time and the date already in Discord here. And then, say I wanted to, say I wanted to put a chart in there too. So I could, come in here and I could clip the chart and I could post that in there as well. And now I have the chart. And now I'm building my trading journal, right? And I can just keep doing this in these contracts that I want, anything that and I can just right click and delete these and they disappear, right? If I don't want them. But it allows me to completely track anything that that I am trading that comes through this filter set. And that is something that's really nice. And it's all I don't have to pay for like an overly bloated trading journal that pays the affiliates to spam links and whatever, right? Whatever you want to do with the Mozilla, Godzilla, Tradezilla, whatever. I don't have to deal with all that BS. I just have everything here, and Discord is already on my desktop. It's on my laptop. It's on my phone, and I can set up notifications. So as soon as a contract hits, I can see it. I can review it. I can check the chart, say if I want, blah, 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 blah. And I'm loving it, right? And that's not a plug for McDonald's. I am really enjoying this. And make sure that, if this is something you're going to do, you got to read the terms of using an Unusual Whales API key, because it's for personal use only. And if you're going to use it in a setting where you're going to, be selling the service around that, then you need to get the appropriate license. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. Make sure you're following the rules with that, or they're just going to cut you off, and then you're going to be out the money, right? So don't do something stupid like that. But Discord's already on everything I have. I can control the notifications very easily. And as soon as these pop up, I can keep a log going. And it's really nice. It's really super simple. It's nothing crazy. Now, I don't have AI doing math for me. I assume I can probably do that. And maybe I can, put the price of these contracts in here, and then I can output that to the Discord channel based on whatever blobdy-bloop. Probably can do that too. I'm not to that point yet. But I did want to show this and show how I was able to build this trading journal with just the API key and some AI magic, right? Because I don't know anything about coding or scripting. I didn't even know I could do that in Google Sheets until I started this. So that, kind of opens the door for a lot of other things as far as what else can I do now? But this has been super helpful to me as a trader, and I think it's super cool. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a reply or a comment. This is going to be going up on YouTube, and then probably a link on Twitter. But my DMs are always open if you want to hit me up and ask a question. If you're having trouble with something, or maybe just having issues, I'll post the script I use. It'll be in a link in the description or in a reply if this is on Twitter. I'll post a link to the text file. It'll probably just be a Google Doc of the text file of the code that I use. So if you don't have the AI, you can use the code and just set this up on your own personal server and just have all the information right here ready to go for you, so you don't even have to worry about paying an extra $200 for some fancy trade journal website that's just going to take all your information and farm it out to people. Okay. So I hope you found this useful. And if you didn't, I'm sorry you wasted your time. If you made it this far, I'm glad you watched. And hit me up if you have any questions. I'm also on Discord, a Joe named Joe. It's where you're gonna find me everywhere. And peace.